Ruth, it's all yours.
If I can please get everybody asking questions over here in your order. If you're not asking, okay, perfect. If we could just like move in chairs and get them in that aren't being used. But yeah, perfect.
Okay, we're about 2 minutes to the beginning of our program. Operator, can you hear me? And John and Ruth, are you still on the line?
This is Ruth. Yes, we are on the line.
All right, great.
Yeah, this is John. I'm still here, loud and clear.
All righty, very good. We're going to start the official process here in about 2 minutes, and we'll get ourselves on the road. John, if you don't mind the potential to ad-lib for a minute or two before the contact starts, I may go ahead and begin a little bit early just to give ourselves some slack time. How do you feel about that?
No problem at all, Fred. Carry on. I'll continue with you now. At all.
All right, I'm going to go ahead live in about 15 seconds. Terry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great. Okay, why don't you go ahead and start the recording?
Okay, I've got them started now.
Very good. Hello, everyone. This is Fred Kemmer, AB10C, and I am your amateur radio operator for today's ARIS, Amateur Radio on the International Space Station Contact. I'm speaking to you from my home here in Hollis, New Hampshire. Through the help of amateur radio volunteers and the crew of the International Space Station, we hope to soon establish an amateur radio contact with the ISS as it flies more than 200 miles above the Earth over South Africa. This contact will be performed using the Amateur Radio Telebridge Network, a worldwide network of amateur radio ground stations that enable young people and students to contact the ISS. We are joined today by Ruth Willett, KM4LAO, who is our YOTA host. Ruth, could you please tell us a little bit about YOTA and what you're doing there?
Yes, of course. YOTA, or Youth on the Air, is an exciting movement focused on promoting youth activity in amateur radio. It is operational in the International Amateur Radio Union 2, or North, Central, and South America. It's not a formal organization like a club or a foundation with paying dues, but rather a group of amateurs working together to foster youth activity on the air. In addition to promoting a variety of established youth-centric activities around the Americas, several YOTA activities are directly organized every year. One of these events is what we are at right now, YOTA Camp. YOTA Camp 2021 is a week-long camp of youth amateur radio operators ages 14 or 15 to 25 from across IARU Region 2. Thanks to the Voice of America Museum in Westchester, Ohio, and the Westchester Amateur Radio Club, Whiskey Charlie 8 Victor Ocean Alpha, the camp has been hosted in the historic Voice of America Bethany Relay Station. Campers are able to connect with like-minded youth who are passionate about amateur radio, learn from both talented youth and experienced mentors, and broaden their horizons through the new skills that they are learning. Campers this week have already attended workshops covering electronic building, contesting on the radio, eyeball sprint contesting, a specific in-person exchange between campers to learn good practices for on-the-air operating, D-Star, or Digital Smart Technologies for amateur radio, and a high-altitude balloon launch. Following this contact, for the rest of the week, we will be competing in FM contests using the kits we built to practice fox oaring, a combination of direction finding and orienteering, learning and practicing amateur radio satellite communication, and participating in an antenna building. Through all activities, the leaders and mentors work with youth to foster a collaborative environment where young people share skills with their peers. The goal is to build a strong community of young amateur radio operators that can mentor others and thereby increase the number of active youth on the amateur radio airwaves. This camp is hopefully the first of many across the Americas, and it's an incredible honor to be able to cap an amazing week with an inspirational ARISS contact. Back to you.
Thank you, Ruth, for introducing the Yoda Camp and the great work that you're doing with the Yoda program. ARIS is an international program supported by amateur radio operators from around the world. Some of the member organizations of ARIS include the American Radio Relay League, the Worldwide AMSAT Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation, as well as space stations including the Canadian Space Agency, CSA, the European Space Agency, ESA, the Japanese Space Agency, JAXA, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and Roscosmos, the Russian Space Agency. The amateur radio ground station that will help us establish contact with the ISS today is ZS6 Juliet Oscar November, located near Johannesburg, South Africa, and is operated by John Saigo. John, can you please tell us a little bit about your station and how you'd like to handle the contact today with the ISS?
Okay, everybody, good afternoon. Our time from South Africa, very chilly South Africa. We're only at 10 degrees, which is very cold for us. Normally sunny and warm here, but it is our winter time. And greetings to everybody. Well, you guys are all hands, so there's no reason for me to go into any technical aspects. You all know how it works, but yeah, I basically have some antennas on the roof of the house, all computer linked, and they are currently waiting at the designated elevation of the ISS. Just obviously for those that are not hands, in the initial start of the contest, I will be lifting the squelch so that you will hear the noise, and as soon as we establish contact, then that noise should go away. So you will be hearing a bit of this to get going. So yeah, I'm about 30 kilometers west of the city of Johannesburg, a small town called Krugersdorp, and been here for most of my life. So looking forward to the contact. Good luck, everybody, and let's hope we have clear signals. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you, John, for telling us a little bit about your station and where you're located there. We have about 10 minutes till contact time. Our contact for today is going to be with Astronaut Aki Hoshide, Kilo Echo 5, Delta November, India, who will be using the ISS call sign NA1SS, or now November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. The American Radio Relay League, the ARL, has provided us with a short video that tells us a little more about an ARIS contact and how it happens. Let's go ahead and watch the video, and Ruth, if you could put that on the live stream, that'd be great.
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay, great.
Slight technical difficulty. We're getting it running right now.
It runs, we just need to get back to it.
This one?
Hi, my name is Ruth. And my name is Chris. You must be pretty excited to talk directly with astronauts on the International Space Station today. While we're waiting, let's talk a little bit about how it's going to happen. Of course, Mission Control is in contact with astronauts all the time, using a big radio with lots of fancy equipment.
However, we're going to be using something very different today. We are going to use ham or amateur radio to talk directly to the International Space Station.
When most people hear the word radio, they think of a music radio station. But it's so much more than that. Radio actually refers to the unseen energy that transmits all sorts of signals using electromagnetic waves. At first, people learned how to send signals like Morse code. And then they discovered that you can send so much more, like data, computer signals, and even TV.
Maybe you don't realize it, but you use radio every day. Maybe you watched the TV this morning, or you texted your friends, or maybe even you checked social media like Twitter or Instagram.
Let's travel back to space for a minute. Since the beginning of the space age, humans have sent many spacecraft out into the universe. These range from the Hubble Space Telescope orbiting the Earth daily, and the Curiosity rover exploring Mars. We've even sent a long-distance messenger, the Voyager 1, who has traveled outside of our solar system.
Whether it's capturing a great picture of a far-off galaxy or conducting experiments on the space station, radio has to do with all of these. And today, you're going to be using ham radio. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is ham radio?
Amateur or ham radio is a service and a hobby where operators can talk to people around their neighborhoods, their cities, their country, and even around the world. Amateur radio operators require a radio license from the government. They're not that hard to get. I have one. My call sign is KM4LAO.
And mine is KD8YBJ. Our call signs are a way of identifying who we are to other operators. This lets everyone know that we have the proper license to using the radios.
As amateur radio operators, or hams as we are often called, we can talk with others about basically whatever we want. Often science or some new radio gadget that we are interested in.
Let's focus back to the space station and your contact today. Many of the astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the space station are licensed ham radio operators. That's why your operators today can contact them. The people here, as well as the astronauts, are licensed to talk to each other, and you are allowed to talk over to their radio.
For our conversation today, we'll need an amateur radio station on the ground, either in this location or somewhere else around the world. We'll also need a radio in the space station.
Anyone SS? Anyone SS?
You can hear the calls coming. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, the International Space Station, over.
On the space station, the radio transceiver is connected to an amateur radio antenna mounted on the outside. One of these antennas will be used today during our contact.
For our side of the contact, we need a good-sized antenna, a signal amplifier, something to make our signal stronger, and a rotator for turning our antenna. We have to keep our antenna pointed right at the International Space Station. And remember, it's moving across the sky and fast.
To aim the antenna properly, we need to track the path of the space station exactly. NASA uses complex systems to track the path of the space station and other orbiting objects.
The satellite tracking program we are using works out a complicated set of mathematics to provide the orbital location of the space station moment by moment as it moves through space. This information is sent to the computer that controls the antenna rotator, which moves the antenna to follow the space station. Maybe some of you have seen or worked with robotics. That's pretty cool stuff. And just like you can program a robot where to go, what to do, and how to get there, you can also program a computer to tell an antenna how to track the space station across the sky.
You know, it took a lot of planning to get this contact. Several weeks ago, the ISS operations team had to figure out when the space station's orbit would pass over this location. Then, they had to talk with the planners at NASA's Johnson Space Center. The crew's time is pretty full, so they were able to find a time that could work for the crew members' schedules. Once they found times that would work both in space and here on the ground, the host organized this contact. And in just a few minutes, you'll be hearing and talking to the astronauts.
Well, it's almost time for your contact. It will be exciting, so good luck with it.
Thank everyone that is attending today. Actually, this is the first AIRS press conference we've had. And I thank you for your interest and long-time support in the AIRS program.
Okay, Ruth, it looks like the video is complete.
Yes, it is.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. All right, everyone. The ISS is presently over the South Atlantic Ocean as it approaches John Station in South Africa. Remember that the ISS is a little over 200 miles above the Earth, and it's traveling at over 17,000 miles an hour, or about 5 miles every second. At that speed, the ISS passes from horizon to horizon in approximately 10 minutes. The ISS is almost as long as a football field, including the end zones. The ISS has 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a picture window, which we call the cupola. The ISS was built in pieces delivered by 42 space flights, and the ISS can have up to 8 spaceships connected to it at the same time. Finally, I'd like to conclude by just reminding everybody that what we're doing is with the ISS today is an experiment, so we can never quite know for sure what the end result will be until the experiment is finished. And also, I want to remind everyone asking questions today that please don't forget to say over. We have about 3 minutes until the ISS comes up, so at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you, John, in South Africa. It's all yours. Good luck, everybody.
Okay, here we go. So he's just entered our continent above Cape Town. So it's going to be roughly about 2 minutes or so, and then I will start calling. You might hear a bit of a muting sound when I do call him because I'm taking over the microphone to make contact. But as soon as I let the microphone go, then the squelch will be out, and you'll be able to hear the hiss. So I'm going to just let the mic hang now until he's actually right overhead me, or at least on my horizon, and then I will begin the calling process. So as soon as we have a couple of seconds to go, I will come back again. So just another minute or so, and we'll be good to go. So good luck, everybody, and we'll try and get as many questions as we can in. So let's see what happens. But I'll stand by for now. As soon as I have him on my horizon, I will begin the calling process.
All right, and by my clock here, we have about 1 minute and 30 seconds until the ISS crosses the horizon.
Somebody's rushing to the radio on the ISS right now.
Did you see them flying through?
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't stall long enough. I have too many technical difficulties.
Sterling, you trust my laptop a lot more than I know.
1 minute. Forty-five seconds.
Breathe.
30 seconds. Seconds. Good luck, students.
Okay. He's just over there after now, so let's give it a go. You'll hear one call from me here, and then I'll switch over to the other microphone and try and make contact with him. NA1SS, NA1SS, NA1SS from Zulu Sierra 6 Juliet Oscar November, standing by for you, okay?
Thank you from Whiskey 8 Yankee Yoda Camp. This is Ruth, Kilo, Mike 4, Lima, Alpha, Oscar. Who are your greatest role models and mentors and why? Over.
Hi, that's a great question. I think it would be my dad because he taught me everything about life and how to be a good person and to work hard, and that got me here on the International Space Station. Over.
This is Graham, Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot Juliet Kilo. What is the most interesting thing you have seen from space? Over.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things outside, but I would say maybe flying through an aurora and also looking at shooting stars below you might be the most interesting things. And on top of that, we just saw a lunar eclipse, not a total one, but just a partial one, just a few weeks ago. So those are the most interesting things that we've seen from space. Over.
This is Leah, Kilo Delta Niner Lima Foxtrot Zulu. What was the biggest challenge you faced in becoming an astronaut, and how did you overcome it? Over.
That's a great question. I would say there were a lot of challenges, physical, mental, and learning a lot of languages. Those were all very difficult for me, but we overcame it because of working hard, learning from mistakes, and helping each other. Over.
This is Adam, Kilo Delta Niner, Kilo India Sierra. How often do you/other astronauts man the ISS simplex radio? Over.
That's a great question. So for ham radio, we typically do it maybe every 2 weeks or so when we have the opportunity. But otherwise, we're busy with other experiments or tasks. We do have our own radio to communicate with the ground, so we talk to the ground every single day. Over.
This is Case, Whiskey 0 Alpha Alpha Echo. What are you doing now on the space station that will help future missions to the Moon and Mars conduct their experiments safely? Over.
Yeah, there's a lot of experiments going on, like how to grow plants in space. That would help us out tremendously when we head over to Mars. Right now we're getting all the food from Earth, but we can't do that when we're traveling to Mars. So that would help us tremendously to learn how to grow crops in space. Over.
This is Hope, November Delta 2 Lima. What is the hardest aspect of space travel that training cannot prepare you for? Over.
That's a really great question. So I think on the ground we do great training, but we can't float things around. So maybe learning how to keep things where you want them to be might be one of the challenges that we face when we get up here. It is easy to lose things. I lost like 2 pairs of scissors already. So that's something that you have to learn once you get here. Over.
This is Dylan, Kilo November 6 India Victor Whiskey. What are your specific roles on the ISS? Over.
So we all have to do like maintenance work, science. We do space rocks. Each individual crew member we all are certified for that. I am, in addition to that, I am also the commander of this expedition, which is about 6 months long. So I make sure that everyone is safe and healthy. Over.
This is Kaylee, Kilo India 7 Tango X-Ray November. What is your favorite thing to do on the ISS that cannot be done on Earth? Over.
Wow, that's a great question. I would have to say floating and flying like Superman on orbit in microgravity, and also looking at Earth out the window. Every single day we all take turns and look out the window, and it's just a beautiful view out the window. Over.
This is Graham, Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Juliet Kilo. What does a typical day look like on the ISS? Over.
So typically on a work day, which is typically Monday to Friday, we wake up maybe around 6:30, and then we start tag up at 7:30 with the ground, and then we start working until 7:30 at night. And then we have dinner together and then go to bed. On weekends, we do some cleaning of all the modules on Saturday, and then the rest of the time we are free, so we can do whatever we want. Over.
This is Leah, Kilo Delta Niner Lima Foxtrot Zulu. What is the most rewarding part about living and working on the ISS? Over.
I think we're doing cool stuff on orbit. We do spacewalks, we do cool science, and but most of all, working with a lot of amazing people on the ground. And that is the most rewarding thing for me. Over.
This is Adam, Kilo Delta Niner, Kilo India Sierra. What new space-related technology are you most excited for? Over.
So we had 3 spacewalks maybe about a month ago to install a new solar array outside. The old ones have been out there for about maybe 2 decades. So we installed those new solar arrays. Those are the new technologies that I'm most excited right now.
This is Case, Whiskey Zero Alpha Alpha Echo. When did you first learn about ham radio? Over.
The first time I learned about the ham radio, maybe it was when I was in junior high school, maybe about 12, 13 years old. I built my own ham radio. That was the very first time. Over.
This is Hope, November Delta 2 Lima. How are breaches or leaks in the station detected, and what are the necessary steps to contain them? Over.
If we have a leak, there's some sensors on board, pressure sensors that would tell us that we have a leak. We'll go ahead and try to sense where it is and isolate by closing hatches. And once the pressure is stable, we know that we isolated the leak. Over.
This is Dylan, Kilo November 6 India Victor Whiskey. How often do you launch smaller spacecraft into orbit on the space station? Over.
Small spacecraft or satellites into orbit, maybe every month or so. We already deployed 3 so far in the past 2 months, and we are about to launch another one. Over.
This is Kaylee, Kilo India 7, Tango X-Ray November. Are there many issues for you to fix on the ISS on a day-to-day basis? Over.
We don't really have anything to fix on a day-to-day basis. The people on the ground are taking care of the vehicle very well. But sometimes we do have to reboot the computer because we have so many computers, and just like on the ground, reboot fixes it. Over.
That's all of our questions. Thank you so much from Whiskey A Yankee.
Just dropped below the horizon, so we're good to go. But thank you, everybody. Maybe just give a round of applause for us while he's staying over the horizon.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you, everybody. There we go. Off to you. Over to you, Fred.
Thank you, John, and thanks so much for hosting our contact with your excellent radio station today. We've all just been part of a historic distance learning activity featuring student campers involved with Yoda 2021, speaking with Aki Hoshide on the International Space Station. On behalf of the ARIS International Volunteer Team, sponsors, and space agencies, this is Fred, amateur radio operator AB10C, sending my greetings to all of you in traditional amateur radio terms. 73 and best wishes, and congratulations everyone on a great contact today. Okay, operator, you can stop recording.
Thank you. Okay, the recordings have now stopped.
Thank you, Terry. Great job today, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you, everybody, and greetings from South Africa till the next time. All the best in 73.
73 from Whiskey 8 Yankee.
Thanks, John.
Wonderful job, John. Thank you, and good luck, everybody. 73.
Well done. Well done. All right. We've got a little bit of time here. We need to take care of a couple of things. Let's make sure we get trash in and everything as we are done with the museum for today. So make sure you get